Ciao Internet, Accent here, and today I want to talk about the Apple Vision Pro. So this is actually the first video about tech that I'm making on the channel. I always said that I want to make tech related video on the channel, but I never had the chance just because tech got really boring recently. Nothing really exciting and innovative has come out in a long time, and yeah, I was just waiting for the right moment, and this is it because when Apple announces a new category of this device, is always like a big deal. The press is always on it. Everybody's excited. There's people talking about it, people loving, people hating it. It's at least it's interesting, right? And this conversation about the Apple Vision Pro is actually a broader conversation about mobile computing and the future of it, because it's not just about this device, right? But let me get rid of the big question first, right? And it is the question that you see on screen right there. So is Apple Vision Pro the future of mobile computing? No, it's not. And yeah, I'm talking about the Apple product specifically in this video, but there is like an argument to be made about VR headsets in general, right? Are they the future of mobile computing or not? So let's stick to the topic of the video for the moment. Why is Apple Vision Pro not the future of mobile computing, in my opinion? There are 4 reasons actually. And I actually took some notes because I didn't want to like mess this up and forget anything. And reason number 1, I'm gonna be quick about it first, and then I'm gonna try to explain them like a little bit in more in detail. So first and foremost, what the Vision Pro is just a better version of what has already been available for years right now. It does combine different kinds of devices in one, and makes the stuff that already those devices can do much better, right? So I'm talking about like all the computing, the spatial computing, the sensor, like how the sensor work, how fast the tracking is for motions, and how the recognition of hand gestures, the eye tracking is really fast and snappy and whatever, right? So every technical aspect of it are really well done, as always. It's the case for Apple product, right? But the thing is, that's the problem. They just focused on things that other devices could already do, right? And made those better, okay? So it's probably the best VR, AR/AR, like somebody calls it mixed reality, like, because it blends the actual reality with the virtual reality. Apple does it in its own way. So instead of being like some kind of transparent layer on which images are projected, like the Hololens, for example, they do it by placing just screens in front of your eyes, like VR headsets do, but like reproducing the real world with using cameras and stuff. So that's their take on like the mixed reality thing. But the thing is, they do better. They do everything better, except some things that are actually preventing this category of these devices from being mainstream. All right. So the first reason is that they are making something very good in a category of devices that struggles to be a popular category of devices, like as daily driver devices, right? They're not daily drivers. Even like the most geeky person in the world uses its VR headset like once in a while. Okay, it's an enthusiast thing. It's not a daily driver. It's not something that right now, and in my opinion, I don't think never will, replace daily driver devices like phones and PCs and stuff like that. So this is the first reason. I'm gonna be like explaining them further later. The second is, as I was saying before, because I already introduced the second reason in the first one, is that the Apple Vision Pro doesn't fix the real issues that VR headsets have. So they didn't focus on fixing those. What are those issues? The size, the weight, the battery life, and the fact that you look like a dumbass while wearing them. The fact that they are computer placed on your face, and it's not something that is like widely acceptable in society. Like the most acceptable thing that you can have daily on your face are glasses, right? Sunglasses, prescription glasses. I'm sorry, it's a difficult word for me. and stuff like that. It's very difficult, like, to not look like a moron, like going around with something that looks like that on your face. It's just impossible. I don't want to scroll the website just yet, because I'm going to talk about the stuff that is shown after. So those are the main issues of VR headsets in general, and they didn't fix any of them. And also furthermore, they even like make some of them worse than other VR headsets for the sake of being Apple and premium, right? For example, the weight. Everybody's saying that the headset is really heavy, even compared to other big headsets, right? And why is that? Because Apple made it out of metal and glass, and everything is fancy and shiny. Yes, every Apple product does. But the problem is that those materials weigh a lot, and the focus on this kind of device that you wear on your head should be like having it as light as possible. So the fact that other manufacturers are making VR headsets out of plastic is not just because they want it to be cheaper, they want it to be lighter also. There are light materials that are like premium feeling, but they decided to go with aluminum and glass, which is a weird choice, to be honest, for something that you wear on your head. So, and also the battery life. This device has 2 hours of battery life that like defeats the purpose of most of the use cases that they've shown during like the announcement. And to make it worse, like the battery is like detached from the unit, because if they had also the battery on it, it would have weighted just too much to be bearable. The weight that it has right now is somebody saying that like having it on your head for more than 30 minutes just begins to get your neck sore. So not great there. So you have also this cable with the battery on in your pocket, which is weird, and not that great. They like used this occasion like to make also another weird like proprietary connector for the battery and stuff, usual Apple stuff, right? But this is like the second reason. The third reason is it really, and this is something that comes from a place of like my actual daily job, which is UX design. And they didn't take advantage of the fact that this is a 3D spatial computing, as they call it, spatial computing device. They didn't take advantage of the 3D space for the interaction as much as they should have. So there haven't been an evolution in interaction design, even though there is an evolution in the medium on which you use it, right? So they changed it from being on a 2D surface, on a flat surface, to being to a flat surface to being in a 3D space, but every interaction is just emulating 2D interaction just in the air, right? Most of use cases and the application that they shown are just iPhone applications, like mobile applications or macOS applications, just on a flat surface, just floating in a 3D space. And interaction is also very, very 2D like. Yes, you use your gaze to point at stuff, and it becomes highlighted. It's very fast, it's very responsive. Then you just click it like this with your hand, but it's still, the interaction is basically a point and click interaction, like your mouse on a regular computer, right? This is the weird thing. Vision OS, it's not that evolutionary, it's not that creative. It's just iPhone apps floating around in your room. That's all. We have not seen any like interaction like with 3D object, using your hand to manipulate the space. So the thing is, this is an example. When smartphones came around, the interfaces were like there was actually a way of doing interfaces that was called skeuomorphic design, which like tried to emulate real-world objects on a 2D surface to improve the affordance of those elements for the user, right? And like every element like resembled something that you could find in real life to communicate its function to the user, right? But it was cumbersome and heavy and very I don't know how to explain this, but it was the interfaces were very cluttered, and that they didn't use the space very well. So there was an evolution in design that took everything from being very emulating of real life to being very abstract, right? And then everybody just learned to use symbols and conventions, like graphical conventions, to understand these abstract user interfaces, which were much more efficient for the size of the screens on which they were like displayed. And so everybody like tried to learn this alphabet, but it was a process, right? A long process of people like trying to understand this new language of interaction, because it wasn't like turn the volume up wasn't just rotating a knob anymore, was like sliding up some kind of bar, right? That's the evolution that we had with 2D interfaces. But it was a requirement of like mental energy for users to go from using knobs to sliding things on a 2D screen. 3D spatial computing offers the opportunity to go back to a more natural interaction for users, okay? You can build three-dimensional interfaces that really resembles actual things. Imagine, I don't know, a DJ console, right? You can recreate a DJ console with all the knobs and the sliders and everything, and interact with with that piece of software in a much more intuitive way than just tapping and pinching and swiping stuff on a screen. And Apple didn't show anything about that, which is weird, because I thought they would like be innovating in that kind of sense. Fourth reasons. The messaging that they are using is very contradictory. Apple is one of those companies that like really supported like the healthy relation with technology stuff, like get your eyes off your screens a little bit more and keep distance from the screens, keep your eyes healthy and stuff like that. And then they put, instead of going the route of like a more layer on top of the real world kind of headset, they go with a through and through VR headset. Technologically, this is a VR headset. It's not a mixed reality headset. It becomes mixed reality because of the cameras. But as a matter of fact, those are two very nice, but still screens, like a couple of centimeters in front of your eyes, even less, which is not something that you should do for a long time. So, and this is just the first part of the messaging being contradictory. Then there are all the use cases that they've shown that they look very consumer friendly, being kind of ridiculous actually. Apart from a couple of those, maybe like the entertainment factor could be something that you would want to do with something like this, even though the battery life wouldn't allow you to watch a movie that's more than 2 hours. So if you want to watch a movie at home, you have to be plugged in to the wall outlet to watch the entire movie. If you are on a plane, like some of those examples that they've shown, you cannot actually watch like more than a 2-hour movie on that, which is kind of, I don't know, kind of defeats the purpose of everything. So this is a very nice example of what I was saying before about like the Vision OS being very not innovative. You see a wall of app right there. It's nothing new. There's nothing that changes the paradigm of interaction with software that we have right now. It's just the same, just in the air. Anyhow, like browsing the web and stuff. So the thing is, many of these things that they're showing are much more cumbersome to do with a headset than doing it like regularly, taking out your phone out of your pocket, or just with your PC on a desk or whatever. So like browsing the web, or I don't know, even getting a call, right? You get a FaceTime call. The phone rings, right? I don't know if the headset is still, I don't think the headset will be like working in standby, because the battery is so like it doesn't last that long. So I think when you put it down, it's gonna be shut down, right? So I don't think that the headset is gonna ring, right? What you're gonna do? Somebody's calling me on FaceTime. Am I gonna reach for my pocket and just take my phone out and answer and talk, or am I gonna like take this thing out of a drawer or out of a very super nice box that Apple gave me with it, and like go into the process of putting it on and adjusting it, and basically the call is just gone by the time you try to get that thing on your head. I guess if it's a programmed meeting, maybe you could do so, but there are other issues with that, and I'm gonna talk about those also. So before like going again over the full reason why I think this thing is not gonna be popular and it's not gonna be the future of mobile computing, and as you might have noticed, I didn't even talk about the pricing. So this thing is $3,500, and I don't think the price is the issue. I don't think the price is the thing that will prevent this kind of device from being mainstream. It's not the price, because I don't know how old are you guys, but I recall my father getting his first cellular phone, which was made by Bosch. Yes, the German company that makes drills and stuff. It was something like this big cellular phone with an antenna that you could pull out and extend, and it costed like 1,000 euros at the time, which a lot, right? And every like first generation product costs a lot, but if the idea is right, it's gonna stick, it's gonna go down in price, and it's gonna become mainstream. So that, before going back to that, I want to just talk a little bit about what Apple did in the past that made some of their product super popular, and basically like began an era of devices on their own. So and why I don't think this is the case. This is not an iPhone moment again. Why is that? The iPhone, and this is kind of going back to the first reason I mentioned, the iPhone was a much better implementation of a category of products that was already really popular. A category of products that was already something that everybody needed to have. Everybody needed to have a cellular phone. I had a cellular phone before the iPhone came in, right? So all they did was perfecting the formula of the pocket phone, and doing in such a good way compared to the others, especially when it comes to like to the feeling, to the to usability and stuff like that, like software and hardware combined together like they always do. And it became the way. That's the rest is history, right? Go a little bit further in the future. What did they do with the iPad? Same thing. Tablet already existed. Tablet computing already existed in many ways and forms. So the need for it was already there. People bought tablet before the iPad came out because it was a device that had its need. All right. The iPad perfected the tablet formula. It became a success again. And I'm not going to talk about other Apple products because I don't think other Apple products did the same thing as those two. Probably those two. And yeah, well, the Apple Watch actually did the same thing. Yes, the Apple Watch is another one. Why the Apple Watch is basically the smartwatch? Because they took an idea, took a need that people already had, which was having a watch that does more than just like keeping time. And they perfected it. They made it nice to look at. They made it last. Like, I don't think that they made it last enough. The battery I'm talking about, but it's enough for the category of product, for how the competitors are. So it's good battery life compared to the rest of it. And the integration, of course, with their ecosystem was really good. The health stuff, it's really good. Everything like everything like usual Apple does, right? They take an idea that already exists and perfect it. I don't think they ever been innovators actually. Many people consider Apple an innovative company. I think Apple is a perfecting company. It's not an innovator. Everything they did in the past already existed before they did it. They just did it better. So they are perfecting a perfecting company. I don't know how to. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but English, whatever. That's my thought about the company anyway. So and also they are good marketers, right? They perfect products and they know how to sell them. They're not innovators though. I don't think so. Because I don't want to get into that rabbit hole right now. Let's just stick to the Vision Pro. So that being said, I've tried to explain why this is not an iPhone moment back again. Now let's try to get back into those for a reason and try to dig a little bit deeper. I don't want to go too crazy with it because the video is already too long. But since I'm talking about this, I want to talk about it a little bit more. And this is gonna be like a conversation about the whole category of headsets, VR headsets and such. Every VR headset has the same issues, but every VR headset that came before the Apple Vision Pro could do some things in a very, very nice way. They worked. We had examples of very nice VR headsets, and also very nice mixed reality headsets. As far as concept goes, for example, something like an HoloLens, especially the second version of it, in concept is much closer to what spatial computing in the future could look like, because there isn't actually a wall between you and the real world. The fact that they choose to go with a transparent screen and not to block out all the light from your vision, the light, the actual light of the world around you. They didn't block the light. You can see the world. You can ignore for a bit what's happening in the virtual world and just focus on people around you. That concept is much more like socially acceptable than an actual VR headset, and the way they try to remove that wall with the fake eyes, it's creepy, man. This thing is fucking creepy. These are not, it's not actually, it's neither your, it's not your eyes, it's not your like a visual live feed of your eyes. It's a reconstruction of your eyes based on a scanning that the headset is doing. They overcomplicated the thing a lot, in my opinion. These fake eyes will not do the trick that they hope for. People will get weirded out by this. I can already imagine. If I see a person like this, I can already tell those eyes are screen, and I'm not thinking that they are like paying me attention. I'm just not. I see this and I see somebody in a VR headset that's doing whatever they're doing and not like caring for what I'm doing, right? So the approach that some of like past mixed reality headset was even better, I think. The implementation was not as good for the immersion and interaction side, because there were limitations. Those headsets were made like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and there were limitations, and it was more ambitious, because like it's much easier to put two screens in front of your eyes and do stuff than like having a see-through screen that place objects inside your world, and also having it be a full field of view, having it have the contrast that screen has, that a regular screen has. It's very difficult to pull that off. But when you try something like a HoloLens, it really looks like the digital stuff is living inside the actual real world. In that thing, you're gonna see a live feed, a video of the real world with object inside them. Yes, it's gonna look great because the screens are very good, but it's not the same thing. And I'm not here to say that HoloLens is better than this. No, it's not, because technologically speaking, this is much better than HoloLens probably. But the concept of HoloLens was better. Still had its own problems. It was still a headset, and the issues. So they solved some of the issues of the headset. The fact that it doesn't close off your vision, the fact that it was lightweight, especially the version 2, was very balanced. You can wear it for longer, but they didn't solve the fact that you had this big thing on your head, like very visible thing on your head. So this is not solving anything that's preventing basically every VR headset from being a daily driver machine. Nothing. And yeah, there are much more things I want to say about all this stuff, but I feel that I'm gonna be repeating myself a lot if I go on. But yeah, the problem is that right now, so Apple did these things. Let's talk about what they did right. Performance is right, resolution of the screen is right, and precision of sensor is right. All the precision of the tracking is right. Those three things were done pretty well by other devices. Okay, so it's not, I guess it's the latest one that has been announced in the whole VR space, right? So, and it's made by Apple and it costs that much, so it better be the best one, right? It should very well be the best one. I'm not surprised that it's the best at doing those things. I'm very surprised that they didn't even try to fix the real issue here. So I think they're trying to understand what they want to do with this kind of product. And going back to the messaging of it, the use cases that they've shown are ridiculous, man. Apart from a couple of them, people like laying in bed with that thing on their face and a battery on their pocket just to watch a sky or something similar on their, like, what? Are you serious? Do you think that people would buy this thing for that? Also, the social aspect of it. Try to imagine. So if you live by yourself, yeah, whatever. I put my Apple thing on my head. I plug it into the wall because if not, I'm not gonna be able to watch an entire movie on it. I sit on my couch and I watch a movie on this big ass virtual screen. Cool. What if there's somebody else in the house? Are you gonna justify spending $7,000 to watch a movie with your wife or whatever? Is that even possible? They didn't even show any application that had the virtual space shared with other people wearing the headset. Something that, for example, Hololens does. Going back to it. It's kind of weird. When somebody, so they didn't even know what to say actually, because when some of the press asked them why does it cost that much, their reasoning was, well, because it's like replaces your TV, your PC, your high performance computer, they said, and whatever else, and your phone, right? So it replaces 3 devices and then it costs less than those combined, right? So it's a great deal. Why do you say something like that? It doesn't make any sense. This kind of devices could not replace your daily driver devices. Your TV could not be replaced because you're not gonna be like bothered to put this thing on your head every time you want to watch some TV. It's not gonna happen. And also, it can replace your phone because you can put it in your pocket. How do you want to carry that thing around? It's gonna be even difficult to put that in a backpack because you would have, I'm sure you will have some kind of like container that prevents it from getting scratched or dinged or something like that. The form factor, it's not okay. It looks cool if you want to look like, I don't know, spaceman or whatever. It's built well, of course, but it's not a form factor that can succeed as a like mass adopted product. It's never gonna. And I'm not like just like beating on the Apple Vision Pro. I'm beating on every VR headset that tries to do that. The thing is, this is the first one that says that wanna do that. Okay, so that's my problem with the messaging. They're trying to sell this thing as a consumer product, but they call it Vision Pro, which means there would be a non-pro version, which is the actual version they're gonna try to sell everybody. Even though it's called Pro, they trying to sell this to everybody, saying that it will replace everything else. This is an R&D device. The pricing just showed that this is an R&D device. It's meant for enthusiasts and early adopters. It's a version 1 product. Nobody's gonna like run to the stores and be in line to buy one of this. It's just not gonna happen. So why I'm so critical of Apple, it's because if there is a company in the world that could like actually find the solution to how to bring the spatial computing to like the mainstream audience, I think it would have been Apple. Right? I was expecting Apple to actually do it, or at least to try to do it in a version 1 and then like get it in better with next iterations. But I think they completely missed the mark on the road to take. This is not the correct road to bring spatial computing in the hands of everybody. And yeah, nobody is doing right. Nobody is doing it right. Facebook's not doing it right. Hololens not doing it right. Microsoft is not doing it right. They recognized it very fast that the Hololens wasn't gonna be a consumer product, and they just like positioned it as a product for companies, for a business product, and it's actually selling to businesses, like to design studios and to architects and to construction workers and surgeons also. So it has its market. It's very small, but it has its professional market. This thing, I don't know if maybe they will turn it into that. I don't know. But the way they are trying to sell it to people is kind of weird. I don't think they believe it themselves that this could be the new iPhone. Okay, I don't think Apple believes in this concept. I think they wanna develop. So they're trying. They putting it out, giving it into the end of developers to try and see what they come up with software. Maybe some developers from third-party developers will do something cool about like the actual 3D interaction inside this device, but they're not doing it. They're just like trying to have people like so they're very good at doing trailers and presentations and stuff. So they did a presentation that like captured the imaginations of developers, so they could like try it, buy it, develop on it, do stuff. And maybe some of them will get a killer application for it, and this is what Apple is hoping for, right? And then it's gonna explode. That's probably their train of thought. But I think the device has like physical issues that will not be solved so quickly. So having this kind of technology in a form factor that it's acceptable for like society, like sunglasses, for example, it's gonna take 10 years at least, because all the things that are inside that thing, like 2 processor, all the sensor, all the camera, another screen, whatever, the battery, nobody's gonna be able to put everything inside a regular glass, a regular pair of glasses, for at least 10 years, in my opinion. So how? So the question is how you can do it. If this is not the future, if this is not the correct road to take to bring 3D computing in the hands of everybody, what is? If I had the answer, I would not be here. I don't know, guys. And when I think about these things, I look at sci-fi movies, because in sci-fi movies they do things that are basically impossible, but they actually look usable. Like holographic phones, like the ones that were in the Expanse TV series, for example, like the glass slates that had the interface going on the slate, and then when it was needed to have more space, the interface just like went overboard, like, and created interface in the 3D space around this glass slate. It's impossible, right? But you need to have something that you can hide in your pocket and pull out when you need it, or something that you can only you can see and nobody else can see. I don't know, a contact, for example, I don't know, something like that. It's impossible for the time being. Maybe somebody in the future with it. Maybe it's Elon Musk with its like brain stuff. You're gonna get installed into your brain and you're gonna just see stuff inside your brain. You won't even need your eyes for that. I don't know, but yeah, that's the thing. Everything that goes on your face, it's an issue, because have you seen in the trailer the father looking at the daughter with those weird like creepy eyes? Are you saying me that you can imagine yourself like looking at your children through that thing in a very important moment of their lives, and not like just living it regularly? And do you want actually your children to remember you wearing that thing on their like 5th birthday, for example? I don't think so. The creepy factor is still there, right? So I don't know. The future is spatial. I do believe that the future of mobile computing is 3D spatial computing, holograms and stuff like that, right? I just don't think that the correct medium already exists. Screens will not do the trick. We need something different. And also, to make it like very, very compelling and usable, you will need also something that makes you feel what you're doing. I'm talking about haptics and stuff like that, which is also really cumbersome stuff to make happen, because you have to wear gloves and stuff like that, which is not something that's gonna make a device mainstream. Like the need of wearing gloves. No, it's a big no-no for everyday use, right? It's cumbersome. It's like putting your headset. You have to put gloves also. It's a mess. But interacted with 3D objects, like fake 3D objects, and not be able to feel them with your hands, it really impairs your ability to interact with that virtual world. So yeah, maybe it's just something. Maybe the future is something that they put in your brain, and it can make you see and feel everything, like the virtual world as well as the real world. I don't know, man. It's a very difficult. It's an issue. Advancement in technology, in interaction technology, it's very, very hard. It's something that I don't think the answer will come very soon. But it's exciting, and it's exciting to talk about. So I don't wanna just bash Apple for what they did. I think they just missed the mark. I think they missed an opportunity. Well, they will have more opportunities in the future. I feel they missed an opportunity to really get deep into the issues of this technology and try to go a different route and try to go an innovative route. They did the same thing they always did with product, but the thing is that this time they did it with a category of products that has already unsolved issues, right? And that's my thought about the whole thing. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Ciao, 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 ciao.